All right, welcome all to today's Safeoclock Health and Safety Interactive Workshop. So today we are talking about health and safety bulletins. So as our culture has been, I'll do brief introduction with the slides I have about the topic. Then after that, we open the floor to share our views and our knowledge on the topic. So what exactly is a safety bulletin or health and safety bulletin? What is it used for? Or is it a legal document or not? And where do we implement it, or what are the purpose of implementing health and safety bulletin? What does it help us to achieve? So these are some of the things we will be covering in this my brief slides. So Health and Safety Bulletin is a brief communication or publication that provides an up-to-date information about workplace health and safety, including legal updates. They provide new procedures, the information about safety advice, information about incidents that happened, information about how to keep workers informed and promote a safe working environment. So this is what is Health and Safety Bulletin. So it's a communication tool. So one thing I want us to take away is that Health and Safety Bulletin is an additional communication tool. Just like we conduct toolbox talks, just like we give health and safety trainings, these are communication tools. So Health and Safety Bulletin is also a communication tool through which we pass various information to the workers and to the employees, even to the management as well. So who manages Health and Safety Bulletin? As the term implies, it should be the Health and Safety Department that will manage this Health and Safety Bulletin, because they have the information, they have the orientation, and they are part of these international bodies like IOSH, IRSM. So Health and Safety Department have clear information or updates on what is happening within health and safety. So they should be managing Health and Safety Bulletin because they are professionals. Not just that they are professionals, they are keen to getting information quicker than others. So that is why we say that Health and Safety Bulletin should be managed by the Safety Department. And it aids in their communication. It helps them to communicate effectively to the workers. So this one is it's non-verbal communication. It's non-verbal in the sense that you don't need to come and start explaining it. If you publish the bulletin, either digital form or physical form, you publish the Health and Safety Bulletin and you post it at locations, or you send it by email. Then you've communicated, you send the information, people will take their time to read it, people will not be misinformed, people will not be misunderstand it. Those that require the translation, you can even publish your Health and Safety Bulletin in different languages, depending on the language of your workers. So that is how Health and Safety Bulletin works. So it's more than just a paper, it's more than just a publication, but it's a communication tool used for communicating critical health and safety information. So your Health and Safety Bulletin can be digital, can be in digital form, it can be in form of newsletters, papers, it can also be in form of hard copy. So what does your Health and Safety Bulletin serve? It helps to ensure that there is up-to-date safety-related information given to the workers. Up-to-date in the sense that you are the one receiving this information, so you need to pass it across. You need to let others know about it. So that is the purpose of Health and Safety Bulletin. Now, the tool is used to educate. So it's a proactive tool used to educate the workers. So you can provide ongoing awareness about specific hazards. For instance, we are in summer, You can decide to publish your health and safety bulletin about heat stress. You can publish a bulletin about maybe summer hazard or summer risk. So it's a tool that you use to educate the workers on specific topics, specific hazards one at a time, okay? Health and safety bulletin also reinforces safety in mind, ensuring that people keep safety as a priority. From time to time, they receive an alert, maybe through the email that safety department have published a bulletin, or when they go to the notice board, they will see new safety bulletin. So it reinforces the safety culture in the workplace. It also engages, it helps to build safety culture by engaging the workers, by letting them give you feedback. They'll give feedback about the safety bulletin, about the information in the safety bulletin. It also helps to share lessons learned. Okay, the health and safety bulletin will help you to share lessons learned from previous incidents. So you can share about the last incident, what happened, what the control measures that was put in place, and the lessons learned. So we can share that through safety bulletin as well. It also helps to empower workers with knowledge about how to act safely. Okay, so that is how what health and safety bulletin helps us to achieve. Okay, so why is health and safety bulletin a communication lifeline? It's a communication lifeline because it connects with the workers regularly. It gives you a regular communication. Now it's a two-way communication tool as well, because when you send this information to people, you receive feedback. You learn from them what they think or what is supposed to be improved as well. So it's a two-way communication. It's also a source of support because emergency situations can happen and people might not be might not be aware of the right thing to do. So safety bulletins can also be used to publish clear communication channels, clear source, right actions to take in the event of emergency. So that is why health and safety bulletin can be a communication lifeline. So now let's look at some content of a safety bulletin. One of the contents is the legal requirement. So in safety bulletins, you can mention the legal requirement that the organization is supposed to comply with. So it should also contain the emergency information, like emergency evacuation routes, location of fire extinguishers, first aid locations. So we can design that in our safety bulletin, okay? Then incident reports, a summarized form of the incident report can also be communicated through safety bulletin. Some safety tips, so for example, weekly or monthly tips that you can focus on a particular tip for the week, a particular tip for the month, and publish it in your safety bulletin. Trainings and other announcements can also be published in safety bulletin. Recognitions, if people have been given safety award or safety recognitions, we can incorporate that into our safety bulletin to help to motivate others. Okay, so this can be contained in the safety bulletin. Now, what are some of the good practice? If your safety bulletin is going to be published or is going to be given to the people, then it has to be concise and clear. Safety bulletin should not be like a textbook that will take a very long time for people to read. So we should make it to be concise. We should ensure that the information is clear. We go straight to the point. We don't put links for people to read further, all those things. So just make it clear, short, and concise. Okay, so it should also be visually appealing. Should be visually appealing. Use infographics, use pictures, use high contrast visuals. When you want to use pictures, make sure that the pictures are clear enough. They are high quality pictures so that it can be appealing. It can attract people to be able to be interested in the content of the safety bulletin. Okay, then we should be strategic in the locations. If they are going to have physical safety bulletin boards, then we should know locations where people will access it easily, or where people will have people are seen more often. For example, in the welfare area, like the mess hall locations, you know that the workers are always at that point during the break time, okay? Or at the safety induction room, or maybe at the security gate, or the waiting area, the reception area. So, you know, these are the locations where we have people often. So you'll be strategic at the locations where you place your safety bulletin boards, okay? Then the thing you need to do is that it has to be updated. The information you have in your safety bulletin should be up to date. You don't give information of what happened last year and you are bringing that information today, especially when it's no longer relevant, okay? Or maybe when research has improved and said something different from what you are publishing in your bulletin. So when publishing your bulletin, you should ensure that you have up-to-date information, okay? Then another thing is that it should be interactive enough. You can use QR codes, you can use feedbacks, you can ensure that your bulletin, if you are doing it virtually, then ensure that it's interactive enough. People can click and go to the next, they can click on this maybe picture to see more. So you make it a bit interactive so that the workers will enjoy reading it. Then it should be targeted to the people. Ensure that the content are focused to the right audience. Don't just bring, maybe you are talking to the workers who are all men and you are bringing information concerning female. Okay, so the content of your bulletin, the health and safety bulletin, should be targeted to the right audience. Ensure that the right audience you bear the right audience in mind when developing your safety bulletin. Okay, so safety bulletin is going to improve further as the years goes by. So there's going to be changes. They will embrace digital age that is taking over now. So we can have safety bulletin boards virtually. So you might not need to have a board, physical board placed anywhere. So you can have it on the desktops, published on every of the workers or every of the employees' computer screen, that immediately they log in, they have access to your safety bulletins up to date from time immemorial. So it can become data-driven content generated through maybe AIs or through the data already stored in your computers, maybe health and safety incident records register. So from there, you can automatically publish a safety bulletin for the month, setting your safety records, your safety statistics. So it could begin to happen. Then interactive content like short quiz, polls, and micro learning modules. So the safety bulletin can begin to go further to become a learning platform, a learning avenue where people will be able to click and get interacted and ask questions, and the feedback comes immediately. So these are some of the feature that safety bulletin could be taken in future. Okay, so in conclusion, I would say that our health and safety bulletin should be a modern tool and not an outdated tool. So as the world is changing, as technology is taking over, we should ensure that we are following that steps, improving, inculcating all the modern tools while preparing our safety bulletin. Okay, so we should develop the content plan and schedule it regularly. So if you are doing your safety bulletin weekly, you should ensure that you maintain your weekly publication. If you are maintaining monthly publication, you should ensure that you maintain your publications monthly, okay? Then you should be creative and create space for the workers to engage, not just giving information, not just every time you publish, without creating an avenue for people to give you feedback and for you to have their view and their opinion as well. So that is what I have to give in this short time. And thank you for listening as I open the floor for others.
Okay, let me jump in as soon as possible regarding this topic. You've Mr. Johnson, thank you for the wonderful and short presentation. You've made it so very clear and elaborate. And as we all know, as an health and safety professional, we all know if we fall back to most of the OSHA requirements, and also when we look at the Health and Safety at Work Act, communication has been one of the strongest legal requirement that it is strongly recommended and strongly required, because in whichever form or language we intend to use it to communicate with the people is very, very important and vital, because when you look at our years in practice, you know, since we've been practicing this, our job, you discover that we've used the means of communication through the bulletin board and all that to pass in vital information. And the purpose for this regulation or requirement is to ensure that at least the workers are well informed, you know, with up to date, with respect to the health and safety procedure we have on site, with respect to the risk associated with that project, and also with the best practice that are ongoing within the project. The bulletin board or the bulletin is essential for communicating lesson learned, you know, especially from incident, the way you've explained, and also to share some kind of proactive safety guidance or measure. You know, it's not about just talking about hazard, accident, and all that. So some kind of progress, some kind of things that are being done. You know, we also use this medium or tools to do this communication. And for me, the essential component of this health and safety bulletin is that information should be released as needed, you know, about risks, incidents, and regulatory changes, you know, which Mr. Johnson has said something about it. And also the information that we are giving out through the communication should be easily digestible, okay? Should be focused on clear action points rather than make it very vague, very complex for people to comprehend, you know? So it should be short and very brief. And once somebody look at it, the message is gotten and clear. And also the bulletin board should give some kind of actions, okay? Information that are action in terms of, you know, urgent risk, you know, emerging risk, you know, within the project or on a general wide scale. And also in terms of advisory, you need to give a kind of best practice and improvement tips, you know, which is very important. And also for information, like I've said, there can be updates. It could be from the risk assessment, it could be from policy, it could be from regulatory aspects. So all these updates are very, very important, you know, with the way we communicate and give information to the workers, because we have different means, different form, different tools. As you know, in our projects, some people will do induction, we do toolbox talks. All these things are just form and ways in which we pass out information to the workers. And Mr. Johnson made mention of some examples, you know, and these things are also peculiar, differ from industries to industry, you know. So like, you know, when it comes to information regarding chemical safety, you know, how to undo, how to store, how to use PPE, with reference to some data, safety data sheet. All these things can be found in the bulletin, safety bulletin. It talks something about stress related issues. Like, in Qatar now, we are in summer period. So if you go to most of the project sites, you see a lot of bulletin information that has to do with heat and all that. In some jurisdiction that during winter, they were talking about cold stress, but we in this area are talking about heat stress. So a lot of information that gives out image of the symptoms, preventive strategy, all those things, how to encourage worker to drink a lot of fluid, having rest and all that. So also related to noise, burn, respiratory hazard, sleep, trip, fall, mandatory PPE, emergency response preparedness and all that, and workplace culture generally these are areas, are example of topics we could, use and display within our safety bulletin. So for me, it's very important that we keep updating and using this kind of tools, and also try to adopt different technological method or tools that are coming up to be able to enhance our means of communicating, to the worker, or passing out information, vital information regarding risk and safe work procedures and all that. So I think I'll just end mine at this point, so for others to give their own meaningful contribution. Thank you. So the floor is open to others to make your contribution.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Steve. I think I'll take the baton from here. I just want to make 3 contributions with regards to the topic, right? I'll also be sharing my experience on how we do utilize and implement the safety bulletin. The first point will be on language, right? So as some of us already know, maybe we are involved in mega projects where there are diverse nationalities, that will be working on that project. Most especially on the project site where I am, I noticed there are 3 common language, which includes English, Hindi, and of course, Arabic. So when we developed or designed our safety bulletins, we need to also consider the language, right? To ensure that everyone is being carried along on the project or in our workplace, and everybody understand, the information, the message that the bulletin contains and is trying to pass out. So we need to consider, what languages. If it's a place where English is the only language, of course, we can design it prepared on English, but you need to also consider other languages, just in case if English is not the only language that is being communicated within your workplace. Then the second point I would like to add is that for me and the projects I've been involved, what has really worked very well for us is that we do look at trends, areas where there is a high prevalence of violation, high rate of violation. Maybe we discover that workers are defaulting so much on a particular procedure, or method or use of a particular equipment. Let me give, for example, the one that I know that's very common, 2 that they violated so much in my previous project. The use of a shame block and a lava block. There's a difference between these 2 types of, lifting accessories. The chain block is used vertically to tension and to string pipe, into position. And while the lava block is used, in an horizontal position, to align and reinforce the pipe. So most times we find out that the workers are misusing these two tools, where they are supposed to use the lava block, they are using the shame block, and where they are supposed to use the shame block, they are using lava block. So in such situation, so what we did was to develop and design a safety bulletin, right? Communicating the effective, the right method or right use of this particular lifting accessories or equipment. So that was clear, and that, of course, really helped us to reduce the rate of non-compliance with the use of those particular tools. And lastly, on the use of the safety bulletin, right? I don't think I would want to emphasize on this because Mr. Steve has already spoken on this point. So I would drop here, and the floor is open to the next person who may want to add its own voice.
Okay, before anyone adds, something just came to my mind now, which I failed to say earlier. Most importantly, I think in our safety bulletin, it is very important that most information we try to pass across through, we should always encourage ourselves to make most of this information to reflect in image, like using photos or images. You know why? It is very important in the sense that sometimes it bridges that gap of this language, maybe language barrier and stuff like that. Because when even when you see an image of somebody who is climbing a scaffold, for example, or maybe climbing an access to a working at height, and the person is seeing kit up, putting his full PPE and all that, and you maybe give a tick like, oh, this is good, like a good practice. You have the picture, even without writing any information in terms of either English, Hindi, Arabic, or whatever, and you put another one that the person is not fully kit with the PPE, and you put cancel like this, you discover that irrespective of the language barrier, when the person sees that image, the person will easily comprehend what the two pictures is trying to talk about. So why I'm trying to bring this is that sometimes we might have limited space for all this of our information. So we can add a lot of images that depict the message or the information that we are trying to pass across to the workers, especially those areas that image can be used to replace some maybe much number of words, but if it has to do with like policy and procedure, that one we cannot do without it. It has to be written. But in some of the information, best practice and stuff like that, we could adopt the method of using images to really pass this information, especially when, like for us here, related to e-stress, we use a lot of images because sometimes when you do two-voice talks and stuff like that, even when you do induction for them and all that. So most of the time, the picture, the existing is great in the mind of people, even if they are moving, even if they leave the notice board, there's always this, image is easily, according to most people that in terms of learning, I think they grasp more when they see image, because even at reflection, you reflect easily and recall things when you visualize. In the absence of that image, you can easily get those information, better than something that is written. Even me is a living example to that. So I think we should always try to adopt that method as well to really pass out this information within our bulletin, safety bulletin. I think that's what I have to add to what I've said earlier. So I think Mr. Andy is here. Omojade is here. Adego Okpara is here. So let's hear your own little contribution.
Hello.
Yes,
Good
boss.
evening, this is Andrew speaking.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Thank you, Mr. Steve,
Yes, boss.
and Mr. Monjade, and everyone. It's quite an interesting one. Of course, you guys have said it all, and you know, the safety bulletin and safety culture, safety first. You guys have dealt with all the aspects that I can even contribute to. So I so much appreciate this topic, and I just want to say that without communication, as you guys have already highlighted, then our procedure, our legal compliance, and all will not be effective. So using this safety bulletin as a tool of communication is really a means of communicating or inculcating the safety culture in the heart and in the mind of the workforce, from the management to the shop floor workers. So, uh, giving an insight to this means when people are well communicated to using this tool, uh, visuals, written, signs, and all that, it really gives an image where people understand that safety is all, not just first, but it's all and everything that is required for one to execute the project safely and for the business to uh, move forward. So it's a very effective tool, which from my experience, that we have worked in different sites, one of the most effective when it comes to the shop workers means of communication is really using the signs, visuals, and visual language. Because as they say, picture can speak 1,000 words. One picture can speak 1,000 words in the heart of people. Like the example Steve has given, somebody climbing the scaffold with every required PPE, and he puts a badge. When somebody look at it, he see himself in that position. And also when it's see another photo that is not in the right way marked with X, and somebody that is indulging in such attitude with picture himself, then you see somebody with a broken leg who has fallen from height and he puts stroke. You see somebody who will not go to his family because of accident and all that. All these are put in the safety bulletin and on sites. And sometimes I remember when I was conducting some training on use of chemical. In short, it's really goes a long way to change the mindset of workers, because I have to bring the image of the heart and what chemical have done to the heart, show them, the lungs and all that. And it's really, we see a lot of changes, how the perception, the way they behave when it comes to handling of chemicals compared to the previous experience we had with the workers. So it's a very interesting topic. I want to thank you all. That's for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Andrew, for your contribution. Any other contribution?
Yes. My name is Adendo.
Okay, I didn't do okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Stephen. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, and every other person that has spoken. This HSC bulletin is a very important. It's very important in health and safety, in the sense that communicating it in such a way for the workforce to understand it properly is very important. We always have it on the site being posted. Workers, some of them will come around, they will read. Some of them may likely understand, some of them may not likely understand it properly. But advising the HSE personnel, HSE professionals to bring it into TBT whenever they want to conduct a TBT or HSE briefing, bringing the poster, communicate it in such a way, and have a translator as well who will be able to translate it better for them to understand it more is also highly encouraged, because some of them, their level of intellectual capability are very low. Some of them don't even have patience to be able to go and read all these things. But if every organization, before they start any activity, they always have this HSE briefing, conducting it. When they get this type of a HSE bulletin, maybe from the client, sometimes it will come from the client, it comes from the consultant, it will only have one language, it be an English. These workers may likely not understand the English, but the safety officers on site, when they are able to communicate it to the workforce and someone will translate it to them, I believe this will go a long way to help them in order to maintain the health and safety culture in our workplace. So my contribution is mainly on this communication, bringing it into TBT, just like how we practice it in my workplace. So whenever we have this health and safety bulletin, we always bring it into TBT, communicate in such a way they will understand it. And if they have any feedback, they will be able to give their own feedback. If they have any contribution on how they can do it, for example, if it's an accident, during this period, we talk to them. Any of them that understand it better can say, okay, but this can be avoided through like this can be avoided through like this. So through that means, many of them will understand it better. And whenever they are working on site and encounter such thing, they will be able to remember this is an issue and they'll be able to avoid it. So thank you.
You're welcome. Mr. Adeleke Karim, Smiler, I think you just joined us not quite long. We've been talking about Health and Safety Bulletin. So though you missed the section presented by Mr. Johnson in the slide, but I know as a safety professional, I believe we all understand the benefits or probably the uses of such tools in terms of communicating and passing out information to the respective workforce. So I don't know if you have any idea or whatever you want to add related to this topic, and if possible, any practical experience which you are doing presently within your workspace or projects, you can also share with us so that we can call it a day.
Thank you very much, Mr. Stephen Francis. I really appreciate your introduction. I miss it because of my time or work schedule. So I'm very sorry. And I hope I can still get the slide or the video so that I can review. But despite the fact, Mr. Andy that just spoke now, he has spoken very well. Because most of these HSE bulletins, they are just written by the expatriates. So I don't need to go much into that. And if they can translate it or communicate it to these people, the lower, especially the workers, it will go a long way. That's what I can say now. But there are some times in which, from what I've heard or from my workspace, some of these bulletin boards, I think sometimes they are being manipulated or to encourage the client or something like this, in which sometimes it doesn't show the true practicality of the, especially lost time injury or some things that are work related or these things. So that is just what I say about that. But despite the fact, it is a way of communicating to the workforce, especially the workers who are more exposed to the hazard. Thank you very much. That's what I can say for now.
Welcome for your contribution. Mr. David Doha, I believe at this juncture we should call it a day, because with the numbers, I believe everybody have made one or two contributions to this topic. It's an explicit one. It's not something that is many of us do not really know much about. We are all familiar with it. So I think at this point, I might want to call this session to an end while we expect another important topic for the next week's session that will be communicated to us by Mr. Johnson. So I will just want to say thank you all for devoting your time out of the unavailability of time that we have to be here to improve our professional skills and probably knowledge. So I will say thank you all for being part of today's section. So have a nice weekend for those of us who are in the Middle East. For those who are in Nigeria, you still have a day to work. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And Mr. Adeleke, on the group, I don't know if you're on the group. On the group, usually every section, recorded session is posted there on the group. They are dropped there. So you can access this session on the group, hopefully by tomorrow.
If you are not there, drop your mobile number. So we'll add you to the group. You can drop your message number on this chat box.
Oh. Okay, I will do now.
Yeah.
So I've dropped my number,
Okay.
please.
Okay, I'll get it. Okay. Okay, fine. We'll connect you to the group. So thank you once again. While the section will end.